Good evening, people of YouTube, or whatever time it is in your location. This is the April update video. Didn't get a whole lot done simply because I went on a cruise. And also I kind of got really deep in this dashboard project, which I'll cover in a second. Ultimately though, a couple things done. I got the Breeze stainless steel battery box container. That thing is absolutely a tank. You got to buy a group 51 battery to fit in there. Not a big deal, but it's a little smaller, fits in front of the engine. As you can see, I got plenty of room. My accessories don't go any further forward than that. So got that all rigged up and then started work on the wiring, but didn't get that far. I also bought a Breeze fan shroud. You can see how it's bolted on there. Fan's bolted on. I'll wire it up later. Being in Florida, it was recommended that this would be a good idea just because it's slower traffic unless you exclusively use the car on county roads or highways, but still, it gets hot, it gets humid, and I do not want this thing to overheat. So that's it was an important adder, and it wasn't that expensive either. It's very well built. I also started the emergency brakes. I bought a universal emergency brake line kit from this 4x4 outfit online. It was like 90 bucks or whatever. It came with the two cables. They're universal, cut to length. You can see I got them both slung around, and they're hooked up to the calipers, and they're just slung up front. I haven't gotten any further. This is the status of my brake lever. Yeah, and then parts, and then I've also got the rest of the emergency brake line fittings. Like I said, April was a slow month. I only worked on the car for like 20 hours. I haven't done the math, but not that much. I also got to the bottom of a brake line leak. This banjo fitting right here, right there, the surface on the caliper actually had a little scratch in it, so all the reefing down on that nut, smushing the banjo or smushing the crush washer, would not stop it from dripping till I took it off and realized that's where it was leaking from. I took a really fine file, sanded that surface down, and voila, no more leaks. I think that's it with the car. I went over my notes before starting this. So anyway, the dash. Not sure I showed everybody this at first, but the dash itself had, by the way, in this position, it's upside down. This is how it'll sit mounted. But right about there in the corner and then up in here, there were some dents in the vinyl. I don't know how it happened. It could have been from when I did inventory and then I set it back in the box on something metal. Could have been how it shipped. Regardless, it looked like crap. So what I did was I sanded the vinyl, and I watched some videos on YouTube about reskinning stuff in carbon fiber. So that's what I did. So I started the first layer of carbon fiber, and I didn't like how it went around some of these curves. Like there's a very faint curve right here, and then there's a curve around the top, then it goes down, and then the whole bottom right here, this is all a nice 90-degree curve, but it's smooth. Basically, it was just an educational piece about how I did it wrong. So I sanded that, and then I did another layer of carbon fiber. And with that one, I wanted to let the epoxy set up a little bit before I laid the carbon fiber down so it would stick better into the curves. Well, that was also kind of came up lemons because I had some spots around here where the carbon fiber didn't sit that well, and up there, you can see I sanded it way down to nothing. Also in the corners where there was these flanges on the ends, that it didn't sit that well. So, third time's a charm. Sanded this down all to smooth with 36 grit belt sander. And now I'm waiting for another roll of carbon fiber to come from Amazon. I ended up buying this from Composite Envisions. It's a lot of epoxy. It's way more than I need for one project, but I'm going to do a carbon fiber tonneau cover or whatever you call it, sunshade thing for the car. So I'll use it, but damn, I didn't need a gallon of it. Either way, works great. It's nice and strong and sturdy and whatnot. So that's it for April. I got the right month this time. May, my goal, get it started. Then after that, I might take a little time off. Maybe just work on piddly stuff with the car, but I've been put off a lot of projects for the last few months that I need to do around the house and just other hobby interests. So things will slow down. Then it's hot as hell here in Florida in the garage. I got my cheap little window unit right there that just moves the heat to the other side of the garage. And it works, but still, it sucks. Anyway, later everybody.